If you've ever heard the famous phrase, throw another shrimp on the barbie, you might be surprised to learn that Australians don't actually use the word shrimp the way Americans do. In fact, if you go to Australia and ask for shrimp, most people will probably look at you a little confused. That's because in Australia, they almost always say prawn. What Americans call shrimp, Australians call prawns, and this difference in wording comes from history, culture, and the way English evolved in different parts of the world. The funny part is, shrimp and prawns are technically two different creatures from a scientific point of view, but in everyday conversation, most people don't bother with the distinction. In the United States, the word shrimp became popular and stuck, while in countries like Australia and the UK, the word prawn became the everyday term. So when Australians talk about having prawns on the barbecue, they're actually talking about the same thing Americans are eating when they say shrimp. This difference in words is also why that famous saying about shrimp on the barbie is a bit misleading. It actually came from a tourism campaign in the 1980s when Australia was trying to attract American visitors. The advertisers knew Americans wouldn't connect with the word prawn, so they used the word shrimp instead, even though Australians themselves don't use that term. The line worked well because it sounded catchy and memorable to an American audience, but it also created a funny misconception that Australians go around saying shrimp all the time, when in reality they don't. If you're in Australia and you go to a seafood market, you'll see signs for prawns everywhere, especially around Christmas. Unlike in the US, where turkey or ham might dominate holiday tables, Australians often celebrate Christmas with seafood, and prawns are one of the stars of the meal. It's such a big tradition that prawn sales skyrocket during the holiday season, and families gather to peel and eat them together. So, the short answer is that Australians call shrimp prawns. But the longer story is a fascinating example of how language shifts between countries and how a single word can create a cultural misunderstanding. It's one of those little quirks of English that shows how food and language are connected, and it's also a reminder that sometimes catchy advertising slogans can stick in people's minds and create myths that last for decades. In the end, whether you call them shrimp or prawns, they're still the same delicious little seafood that people love all around the world.